So it's been a couple days since I got that root canal removed. Actually, I notice a big energy difference. It's just I don't know what to do. But also, this little video here explains a bit of that too. Um, but anyway, so I don't regret it. I don't have that grogginess anymore in like 2 days. 2 days, it's like really big. You know, sure, I kind of cuddled up with my cat earlier this evening, and laid for like 15 minutes. I wasn't really fucking tired. I was just like, I don't know what to do, and that's how they could train us to be. And I get that, but also this video was very touching in a way. So let me play it.
How heavy is this glass of water? Melissa, would you care to answer?
8 ounces,
12 ounces?
16 ounces.
The absolute weight of the glass doesn't matter. It depends on how long I hold on to it. If I hold it for a minute, nothing happens. If I hold it for an hour, my arm will begin to ache. If I hold it all day long, my arm will feel numb and paralyzed. Well, the weight of the glass hasn't changed, but the longer I hold on to it, the heavier it becomes. The stresses and the worries of life are like this glass of water. If you think about them for a little while, there's no problem. Think about it for a little bit longer, it begins to hurt. You think about them all day long, and you'll feel paralyzed, incapable of doing anything. Always remember, put the glass down.
Yeah, touching video. So I need to remember to put the glass down. And but that's what I'm doing with a lot of this stuff. I just kind of released, that video, and there's a lot of things that I know that happened to me. There's a lot of things that I don't know what happened to me. And I'm just kind of over it. I'm over hating on people and whatnot. Um, and the bullshit that the child protectors do, but I think they get tricked into it a lot by the child predators that wear the mask of child protector. Um, you got Roofy possessed to make love not work, for a really long time at least. Um, and and I did kind of remember it, although I put it out of my mind as a dream. Because people are like, well, things can affect you if you don't remember them, and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, technically, I don't really remember any of my sexual abuse, but I was a bedwetter, and other sexual abuse symptoms, were there and signs. So I mean, I think that is like the how you think of things, how you make the world, that has a huge impact, and that's a good chunk of it. That's probably most of it. But there are other forces out there too, other people's will and whatnot, and other people's intentions. So it's not just you. It's a co-creation thing, sorta. I mean, not sorta exactly. Anyway, so I'm just kind of tired of hating on everybody, and I just want to like focus on the meat of the issues. And I don't want to get endlessly distracted and what I feel is a lot of nonsense. And I explained my, go after the non-consenting stuff. That would be some good stuff to focus on, because it seems like it's a little bit of a waste of resources when you focus on the weird consensual stuff that goes on. Not that I'm trying to partake in it. I think I went through a weird recruiting experience or attempt, and I'm like, nah, I can't really do it. It's really, it's, I'm like asexual, and I am willing to try with another, but it's like even hard for me to get to that point. And I mean, that could have been this, that could have been that. I'm just tired, of worrying and thinking, and what family is going to get, their child to do something inappropriate around me, whatever. I get to talk about it though, so fuck you. When I do talk about it, and I get some blowback. I can't. I can't not talk about it. I mean, I'm done being the victim, and I'm done kind of just talking, thinking about it a whole lot. People have done really fucked up things to me so many times, and I've never done anything fucked up to others like that. I get to have my say. Someone's gonna like, could you give my child a ride? And I'm like, are you going to like thank me for not molesting them afterwards? Because I'm gonna like, I'm gonna have my little pokes and jabs there too. Like, are you going to be weird because like some people are sometimes weird around me? And it's been many decades. People have been doing that to me, and I only just recently learned it, and I'm just kind of over it now, and I'm like, and I'm moving on. And you could say I have some weird views and everything, but I think it offers a big protection for everyone else, and that's just, with the most amount of positive good outcomes would be that one. And yeah, so I'm done kind of warring and everything. And I still think there is room for leadership positions, but I'm not looking to be no deep state bitch either. So it'll have to be organic and not manufactured, and they manufacture a lot of the shit around here. So anyway, I'm going to be like Logan, except my family's going to live through it. And I'm going to be like, trying to get out in the wilderness, chopping some firewood for my log cabin. All right. And I want to make homesteads for others. And I think I should start connecting with people to try to help me do that. And so that's where I'm going to be and doing, and I could spot stuff out. I be helpful to guide people. I think still definitely, you know. But I'm been kind of like rack my brain over this stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, fine. People like did weird things to me with their kids, into my adulthood. And I'm just kind of over, it. I'm not approving of it, but I'm more forgiving of it nowadays than I was a couple years ago. Just so I can move on, because when I don't have that, and it doesn't mean I agree with them or anything. It's just I'm going to stop dwelling on all that shit. I'm putting the glass down. I'm putting the glass down, and I'm just done, right? I'm done with that shit. Anyway, thank you for the ones that always sent me an age appropriate female, or I mean I guess penis too, but I prefer vagina. They were really lovely ladies, a lot of them. Some were sent to punish me. I guess they were lovely too, in their own way. But yeah, thank you for the nice ones out there like that are doing, aren't trying to be too weird about things. I do appreciate that. Sorry I couldn't make it work with any of them. I don't know how, much of it was my fault, if any, because, I was specifically roofie possessed to make love not work. That was one thing I remember them chanting, that love won't work, when I woke up, or right before I got punched in the face. Um, so, and then you could say that I technically remembered that. I was saying that at the start of this. Like, you could say I technically remembered it because it was like a dream that I had when I was like a kid, or it felt like a dream. And then I just kind of put it out of my mind, but I never felt the same after that. And that's probably what it was. There was that lovely lady a, a couple years ago, Marlo, and she freaked me out because she looked exactly like a really, great love of my life. that I wasn't able to make it work with. And there's these weird shadowy figures that appeared when she appeared, and it kind of like made me go not present, and just kind of like they just kind of froze me right there. It was so strange. But I'm very curious. I'm like, well, why would they do that with such a female? So now looking back at everything, I've had time to calm down. I'm not barking at everyone. Yeah. I just recently had a thing with a vet because I'm like looking to, treat my cats for worms, and I want to give them the fenbendazole ivermectin treatment, and they're like, no, and I'm like, come on, like this is what I want to give for my fucking cats. I don't consider that barking. That's just me being stern on my pet's health care. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just kind of I think I'm through a lot of the bad magic that was cast on me, especially the echoes of the possession, which I think are just kind of trained into your habits from however long you were possessed. I don't want to be hijacked, thanks. I'm not into that, and I'm not really into a lot of their stuff. I guess I guess you get me on. I find your trans cute, or and other mildly appropriate things. So anyway, yeah, I don't find them cute though. Like the trans are cute, but then they're always like fucking like in their phone and shit, and they're always just like this, like straight up, like just, and it's like, even when you're like, company with them and shit, they're just do. It's like, wow. Anyway, so I'm just kind of tired of hating on people. Maybe I'd like reach that point in my life. I'm more forgiving of things. I can't just be dwelling on the past and holding all these glasses of water that is just like really dragging me down and fucking me up for longer than I realize. It's probably, people have been Dr. Magooing me since I was a child. I didn't turn around and realize everything until like my early 40s here. It's been very mind blowing. It hasn't been all bad. I came from a Freemason family. There might have been some satanic stuff in there, but I was raised Catholic. I think people were trying to, they're trying to get me flipped and everything. Or, trick my family into like, you gotta sell us Christopher, and then we'll da 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 da, and then I'm not making stuff work for them because that's not my soul's path. I can't sell my soul. My soul's not sellable. So, and I'm not into some of their stuff, but I'm not into the light side stuff too. It's like the evil side is too evil and the light side is too pussy, and it's like, fuck. I'm just gonna have to sit in the middle here, like, right? But anyway, yeah, I do like how I put that. It's like, yeah, the light side is too pussy and the evil side's too evil. Son of a bitch. I'm just gonna be in the middle, okay? Like, yeah. So anyway, you guys have a lovely day. Maybe an energy drain of yours might be a root canal that you have had in your mouth. I feel so much difference, but then again, I just don't know what to do. I have all these bad habits and shit, and I need to start learning new, better ones, I guess, right? So yeah, I was going to, try to work on that. Anyway, you guys have a lovely day. Peace the fuck out.